Hola! Hello, welcome to our Spanish lesson today. You're going to be needing some equipment today. You'll need some paper to write on and a pen or a pencil to write with. So if you don't have those things in front of you, pause the video now, go and fetch them, and then press play again when you're ready to continue. Today we're going to be practicing saying the names of the planets in the right order. We're also going to be using a bit more of our knowledge of those big numbers to find out some more information about the planets. And we're going to use all that knowledge to help us to start to describe the planets using some adjectives. Let's have a practice, first of all, of the planet names in order. Escuchad y repetid. Mercurio, Venus, la Tierra, Marte, Júpiter, Saturno, Urano, Neptuno, Plutón. Let's try those once more. Escuchad y repetid. Mercurio, Venus, la Tierra, Marte, Júpiter, Saturno, Urano, Neptuno, Plutón. Now, this time, say them along with me so that we're saying them in sequence. Are you ready? Here we go. Mercurio, Venus, la Tierra, Marte, Júpiter, Saturno, Urano, Neptuno, Plutón. Let's increase the challenge. Let's take the names away. Let's try once more. Here we go. Mercurio, Venus, la Tierra, Marte, Júpiter, Saturno, Urano, Neptuno, Plutón. How did you get on with those? Did you remember the right order? Fantastic. Now remember this image here of the solar system? So we have the sun in the middle and the circles show the different planets' orbits. So on the right-hand side, you have the smaller planets, the ones that are closest to the sun, Mercury, Venus, the Earth with its little moon, and Mars. And then on the left-hand side, you have the ones which are furthest away from the sun, and of course the ones that are a lot bigger as well. So you've got Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and then right over at the side there, tiny little Pluto. Now, do you remember last week we decoded all of these very big numbers to find out the temperatures on each of the planets? And what did we find out about the planet that is hottest? Which was the hottest planet? That's right, Venus is by far the hottest planet. It's not closest to the sun, but it is hottest because it has a gas layer that insulates it a bit like a big duvet and keeps it very, very hot. And which planet turned out to be the coldest? That's right, Pluto by far the coldest at minus 225 degrees centigrade. Very, very cold indeed. And why is it that it is so cold there? That's right, it is very, very far away from the sun, so not much of the heat from the sun reaches it. We also had a look at some even bigger numbers to find out the sizes, the diameters of the different planets. And what did we find out? Which planet is the biggest? That's right, Jupiter is by far the biggest planet. And which is the smallest? Yes, Pluto is tiny compared to Jupiter, and the next smallest is Mercury, the one that is nearest to the Sun. We also found out that the Earth and Venus are about the same size. So here are some more big numbers, and this time they are telling us about the periodo orbital. Periodo orbital, and that is measured in días. So if we think about the unit of measurement is días, it's days. So what do you think is being measured in days? The periodo orbital. That's right, it is the length of orbit around the sun. In other words, how many Earth days does it take for each of these planets to orbit once around the sun? What I would like you to do is to press pause, see how many of these numbers you can work out, and then press play when you're ready to find out what these lengths of time are. So press the pause now, see what you can work out, and press play when you're ready to continue. So let's see what you've worked out. So how many days does it take each of these planets to go once around the sun? So for Mercurio, it is 88. What is 88? How many days is that? That's right, 88. So 88 Earth days, that's about 2.5 months, is how long it takes Mercury to travel once around the sun. Then for Venus, 225. 225. How many days is that? It's 225. So 225 days for Venus to orbit once around the sun. Now, you might have known the next one without having to figure out the number. La Tierra, 365. So how many days does it take the Earth to travel once around the sun? 365 days, because of course it's a year, isn't it? A year is the length of time it takes the Earth to travel once around the sun. Now, the next one is Marte, Mars, and it has 687. 687. How many days is that? 687 days. So it's almost twice as many as the Earth. Now, getting on to the bigger planets that are further away, we have Jupiter. Jupiter's is 4,331. 4,331. So how many days is that? 4,331. That's a big difference, isn't it? Then Saturno, 10,747. 10,747, another big jump. Urano, 30,589. So how long does it take Urano to travel once around the sun? 30,589 days. And how about Neptuno? 59,800. How many days is that? 59,800 days. And finally, for Pluton, it's 90,588. Did you work that one out? It's a huge number. 90,588. So 90,500 days more than Mercury. So it takes Pluto 90,588 Earth days to travel just once around the sun. So how many years is 90,588 days? Can you work that out? How many Earth years is 90,588 days? You can pause the video if you want a bit of working out time. Do you know what it is? It's 248.2 years. So if you were born on Pluto, you would never have a birthday because nobody lives that long. It takes 248.2 years for Pluto to travel just once around the sun. Now, let's use all of that knowledge to see what it tells us and what we can work out about these sentences using adjectives. So here's the first one. It says something or other, there's a word missing there, something or other es un planeta enorme. Something or other es un planeta enorme. So think about everything we've found out about the planets looking at the figures. And which planet name do you think is going to go into that sentence? Let's see. Júpiter es un planeta enorme. What do you think the sentence is saying? Do you think you know? Yeah. Jupiter is an enormous planet, and we know that, don't we? We've seen the figures. We know how enormous it is. Jupiter is an enormous planet. Now, first thing to note, look at un planeta. Un planeta means a planet. Have a look at the end of planeta. It ends in a. What do we know about words that end in a in Spanish? That's right, they're usually feminine, aren't they? But this word ending in a is masculine because it says un in front of it. Un planeta. It's one of those really unusual words that ends in a but is actually masculine. So un planeta is masculine, a planet. What about the adjective enorme? That's enormous. But what do you notice about where in the sentence it is? That's right, it's after the word for planet, isn't it? In English, we say Jupiter is an enormous planet, but in Spanish, we say Jupiter is a planet enormous. That's just the way Spanish works. We put the adjectives on the end after the thing we're describing. Other languages do that too. English is actually a bit unusual by putting the adjective first. So, Júpiter es un planeta enorme. Jupiter is an enormous planet. Let's have a look at another one. Something or other es un planeta minúsculo. Something es un planeta minúsculo. What do you think minúsculo means? We've got the English word minuscule, which means the same thing. It's tiny. So, what do you think is going to go in that space? Let's see. Plutón es un planeta minúsculo. So Pluto is a tiny planet. We've seen the figures. We know it's tiny. How about this one? Something or other es un planeta rápido. Something es un planeta rápido. What do you think rápido means? There's an English word that's really like it that means the same thing. Rapid. That's right, it means fast. And we're talking about the speed with which it travels around the sun. So, what do you think is going to go into this space? Shall we see? Mercurio es un planeta rápido. So, Mercury is a fast planet. It goes very quickly, 88 days, remember, around the sun. How about this one? Something or other es un planeta lento. What do you think that one might be? Because we had enormous, then tiny, they're opposites. We just had rápido. Any idea? Yeah, it's slow. Which one is a slow planet? Which one do you think is going to fill the gap in? Let's see. Neptuno es un planeta lento. So Neptune is a slow planet, takes it a long, long time to travel once around the sun. Now, the next one says something es un planeta caliente. Caliente. What do you think that one might be? It means hot. So we've got to think about which one is a hot planet. I think there's really only one choice for this one, isn't there? Let's see. Venus es un planeta caliente. It's the hottest planet, isn't it? And then the next one says something or other. Es un planeta frío. Es un planeta frío. So what do you think that one's going to be? That's right, that's cold. It's the opposite to hot, isn't it? So which one do you think is going to go in there? Let's have a look. Urano es un planeta frío. So it's not quite as cold as Pluto and Neptune, but it's still pretty cold, isn't it? Far away from the sun. So what we've been doing is we've been putting the name of the planet first. Name of the planet goes first. Then es for is, un planeta, a planet. And then we've been putting the adjective on the end. Let's have a practice of those. Escuchad y repetid. Júpiter es un planeta enorme. Júpiter es un planeta enorme. Plutón es un planeta minúsculo. Plutón es un planeta minúsculo. Mercurio es un planeta rápido. Mercurio es un planeta rápido. Neptuno es un planeta lento. Neptuno es un planeta lento. Venus es un planeta caliente. Venus es un planeta caliente. And the last one, Urano es un planeta frío. Urano es un planeta frío. Now, we could, if we wanted, add some other adjectives as well. We could add some colours in, couldn't we? Because sometimes colours are associated with certain planets. Mars, for example, is sometimes called the red planet. Let's see how they would fit into our descriptions. Escuchad y repetid. Marte es un planeta rojo. Marte es un planeta rojo. La Tierra es un planeta verde. La Tierra es un planeta verde. So we can use the colours as well as our other adjectives to describe the planets as well. Now, here are all of the adjectives that we've been using. They're in their opposites apart from the colours. We have enorme and minusculo for enormous and tiny. We have caliente and frío for hot and cold. Rápido and lento for fast and slow. And then we have the two colours, rojo and verde, which you are going to be needing in just a minute. So let's put the English in. What I would like you to do is to pause the video, copy down these adjectives in Spanish and English to help you later on, and then press play when you're ready to continue. So, have you written down your list of these 8 adjectives that we're going to be using? Let's continue. Now, here are some sentences, all describing the planets. The only problem is there are no full stops, no capital letters, and no finger spaces either. What you need to do is to write the sentences out, putting in capital letters, full stops, and the finger spaces as well to separate the words. Let's have a look at the first one together. So there's always a planet name first, which is the planet name that you can see there first. That's right, it says Venus. And then what's the word that always comes next in our descriptive sentences? Venus is, that's right, es. Then what will come next? You need to say a planet, yes. Un planeta. And the adjective on the end then must be caliente. So the first one would be Venus with a capital V es un planeta caliente, full stop. So in a minute, pause the video, see if you can work out the other three, and then press play when you're ready to see the answers. So press pause and have a go at that now. Do you think you've worked them out? Let's see what the other three are. So we know that number one is Venus es un planeta caliente. What did you get for number two? You should have Júpiter es un planeta enorme. Júpiter with a capital J because it's a proper noun and the beginning of a sentence. Júpiter es un planeta enorme. And how about number three? Neptuno es un planeta frío. Neptuno es un planeta frío. Number four. What did you get for that one? Marte es un planeta rojo. Marte es un planeta rojo. How did you get on with those? Let's have a look at something slightly different. This time, you've got the finger spaces, but still no capital letters and still no full stops. The only thing is that each word is all a bit mixed up. You've got to unmix the words to find what the sentence says. Let's have a look at number 5 there together. So the first word, you know that's going to be a planet name. So which planet name is that first word? That's right, that one is Pluton. What's the second word? Es. The third word? Un. What always comes after un in these sentences? That's right, planeta. And then which adjective is that on the end? Can you work it out? That's it, minúsculo. So the sentence would be, Plutón es un planeta minúsculo. Press pause, have a go at the others, and press play when you're ready to see the answers. Okay, are you ready to see the answers to those three? Let's have a look. So number 6 is La Tierra es un planeta verde. La Tierra es un planeta verde. And what did you get for number 7? Did you get Mercurio es un planeta rápido? Did you get the accent on rápido? And the last one, number 8. What did you get for that one? Which planet do you think? And how's it being described? Let's see. Urano es un planeta lento. Urano es un planeta lento. Well done. I hope you've enjoyed beginning to describe the planets and using all your knowledge to get those descriptions really accurate. Muy bien, and adios. See you next time.